When a city adds 35,000 people in just 4 years, the housing market goes absolutely vertical. Vacancy rates crashed to near zero. Rents shot up. And a city that built its entire identity on being the affordable option is now scrambling, almost.
Welcome back to another reaction video, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for clicking on our video. If you want to know, my name is ONEIL and this is my lady Thecla.
Yeah.
And today we're reacting to the fastest growing small towns in Canada.
Ooh.
In fact, that their growth is going out of control. Let's get the 10 fastest growing small towns in Canada.
Let's go.
Yeah. 10 fastest growing small towns in Canada.
Canada.
Tell us if you're
amazing.
familiar with any of these. I want to know. Like,
And to
seriously.
think that we like small towns.
Oh, I love
They're
small
always
towns.
so beautiful, calm.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Let's go.
Picture this, a quiet little Canadian town where everybody knows everybody. And then, in less than a decade, it nearly doubles in size.
Wow.
77% growth. That's not a big city. That's a small town most Canadians have never even heard of. And right now, it's the fastest growing place in the entire country. But here's the scary part. All across Canada, tiny towns are exploding so fast that their roads, schools, water systems, and even grocery stores simply can't keep up. Homes are being built by the thousands. Traffic is choking streets that used to be empty. And the people who've lived there for years, many can barely afford to stay. What's causing it? Which towns are next? And could your hometown already be on this list? Stick around, because number 1 grew so fast, its own town planners admitted they never saw it coming. Now it's your turn. Tell me in the comments, is your town on this list, or should it be? We pour hours into every single video, so if this earned even one wow from you, hit subscribe. It's just one click, and it genuinely keeps this channel alive.
Yes,
Don't leave
sir.
yet. The town at number 1 is going to shock you. Number 10, Fredericton, New Brunswick. Let's start out east, where one of Canada's sleepiest capital cities just woke up in a big way. Fredericton, the capital of New Brunswick, grew by nearly 13% between 2021 and 2025. And if you knew this city before, that number will genuinely shock you. For decades, Fredericton was the definition of steady, a government town, a university town, a place where the population barely moved year to year, and where young people often packed up and left for bigger provinces with bigger paychecks. Nobody expected a boom here. Nobody was even looking here. Then the world changed. The rise of remote work meant you could suddenly keep a Toronto or Ottawa salary while paying small city New Brunswick prices. And just like that, this laid-back river city, with its historic streets, riverside trails, and famously low cost of living, became one of the hottest little destinations in the country. But here's where it starts to spiral. Fredericton's affordability was its superpower. It's what made the city special. And now that superpower is fading fast. Rents that were once the envy of Canadians everywhere have climbed sharply. Longtime locals, teachers, retirees, young families who grew up here, are watching newcomers with big budget offers swoop in and outbid them for modest homes they could have easily afforded just a few years ago.
I think Fredericton is the capital of New Brunswick. Yeah. Fredericton.
Then Edmonton is, I think, Edmonton is for Alberta.
Edmonton is the capital of Alberta. Yeah. Then Nova Scotia is Halifax. Newfoundland and Labrador is St. John's. And then for Prince Edward Island, I don't remember.
Then
Imagine living
the ones of Yellowknife for Northwest
Territories.
Yeah, then you have I think Aquiin.
Alikit.
Do you know Aquiin? I don't really know how to pronounce it.
For Nunavut.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for Yukon territory is called Whitehorse.
Yeah, Whitehorse.
Yeah.
Where your whole life, then suddenly feeling priced out of your own hometown. That's the quiet, painful reality unfolding in Fredericton right now. Here's a practical takeaway you can actually use. If you're dreaming of a move east, watch the smaller capital cities like Fredericton closely. They tend to lag a year or two behind the true hotspots, which means there's often still a window to get in before prices fully catch up. But that window, it's closing. And Fredericton, believe it or not, is just the gentle start of this list, because the next town on our countdown didn't grow by 13%, it grew by more than 4 times that. Number 9, Saint-Apollinaire. Now, have you ever heard of this next place? Be honest, because almost nobody outside the province has. And yet Saint-Apollinaire, Quebec quietly ballooned by a jaw-dropping 56% over the past decade. That's not growth, that's a transformation. Saint-Apollinaire sits just south of Quebec City, a small, tight-knit community that, for most of its history, was exactly the kind of place you'd drive past, not to. Farmland, open space, a few thousand residents living a calm, unhurried life. The last thing anyone expected was a population explosion. So what happened? It comes down to simple math. The same math driving so much of this list. As Quebec City's housing got more and more expensive, families started scanning the map for somewhere just far enough out to find affordable land, but close enough in to still commute to work. And Saint-Apollinaire landed right in that sweet spot. Cheap enough to build a real house, close enough to keep your city job. Word spread, and the newcomers poured in. But here's the spiral, and it's a pattern you're going to see again and again today. A village designed for a few thousand people suddenly has to find the money for new schools, wider roads, expanded water treatment, and more emergency services, all at once. And it has to do that on a small-town tax base that simply wasn't built to handle it. The growth arrives overnight. The infrastructure to support it takes years. That gap is where the pain lives. Now here's a relatable moment. Think about your own hometown for a second. Is it within a 30-minute drive of a growing city? Because if it is, this could very well be its future. The boring bedroom communities nobody talks about are quietly becoming the biggest story in Canadian growth.
I think our government don't really need to bother about the town expanding though.
Yeah.
Like
They really don't.
they don't have to increase any water treatment because we don't even have any water treatment. You can't drink the tap here, and
Always of increasing the town.
even like disposal of waste around the city has been sitting there along the street. Like
This one
nobody's
now,
cleaning.
even where for cars to pass, cars are unable to pass on the road. It means that they are managing but one side of the road.
One
Even
lane.
bikes cannot pass because the dustbin has covered
The whole road. I wish we could show images, like videos. You guys will be shocked.
Yeah.
Like it's dirty. Nobody's bothered about roads. If the road is not paved, fine. If there's no medical facility, go look for it. The government doesn't even worry. Like in this town, we are 5.2 million people in the capital city here. And water is there when it's there. If it's not, nobody worries about it. It's not the government's problem.
Saint-Apollinaire proves you don't need to be famous to explode. But our next town, it made national headlines for a growth rate that left even the experts stunned. Number 8, Moncton, New Brunswick. Back to the Maritimes now, for what might be the single most stunning turnaround story in this entire video. Moncton, New Brunswick wasn't just growing. It became the fastest growing metro area by percentage in all of Canada, expanding a staggering 21.5% between 2021 and 2025. In plain numbers, it leaped from around 161,000 people to nearly 196,000. That's roughly 35,000 new residents in just 4 years. Let that sink in. This is a part of the country that spent generations losing people, watching its young talent board flights to Ontario and Alberta, chasing jobs and opportunity. Moncton flipping the script this hard is almost hard to believe. So how did it happen? Moncton completely reinvented itself. It became Atlantic Canada's affordable bilingual boomtown, a rising hub for logistics, transportation, and business, where your dollar simply stretches further than almost anywhere else in the country. For families feeling crushed by big city costs, Moncton whispered a tempting promise. You can actually afford a life here. And that promise worked too well. Here's the spiral. When a city adds 35,000 people in just 4 years, the housing market goes absolutely vertical. Vacancy rates crashed to near zero. Rents shot up. And a city that built its entire identity on being the affordable option is now scrambling, almost desperately, to stay affordable at all. The very thing that pulled everyone in is now under enormous threat. There's a powerful lesson buried in Moncton's story, and it applies far beyond New Brunswick. Keep a close eye on any city that markets itself as the affordable alternative, because that exact reputation is what triggers the flood in the first place. And history shows those affordability windows tend to slam shut faster than anyone expects. If Moncton's on your radar, the time to act was probably yesterday. But as wild as 21.5% sounds, we're still only getting warmed up.
That means it's already too late to move there.
Yeah.
Small towns, they are growing that fast. Like, why would they be growing that fast?
What could actually be causing them?
Because they say affordability, right?
Immigration?
Affordability, that means when a town becomes really affordable, people start moving there. Once they move there, it becomes expensive, and then people start moving away.
Okay.
Yeah, that's properties become expensive, groceries become expensive.
Like
You start
how
having
here in
traffic.
Yaoundé,
Yeah,
we are just praying that if there was no crisis, we would have gone back.
to our hometown.
Yes. Because things are
Really expensive. Yeah.
expensive.
To get a house to rent here is really hard, and once you get it, to live there, it's hard. And
What to eat,
Yeah.
what to drink.
it's expensive.
You buy water to drink. You don't drink water
Like from the northwest, we don't buy water.
you don't buy water.
And the water is clean, like sometimes even natural flowing water from the ground. Here in the center, you can never drink water that is coming like flowing like a spring from the ground.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have mosquitoes over there. We don't have all of these horrible things that we have over here. But
We got no choice
we got no choice.
than to
As our
deal with
next-
it.
Yeah.
Town traded farmland for gridlock and created a commute so brutal it's reshaping an entire region. Number 7.
Thank
Barrie.
you.
Let's head into Ontario's cottage country, to a lakeside city that's become the poster child for big city overflow. Barrie, sitting pretty on the
Barrie.
shores of Lake Simcoe about an hour
Barrie. How about you tell them about Barrie?
Berry means thank you.
Yeah, in their dialect.
Yeah, in my dialect, it means thank you.
So the
And
town
it's
of
like
thank
a kind
you.
of famous name to many
Yeah.
people from our village.
Yeah, from their tribe. Or
Yeah.
yeah, many people use the name Barrie, and like Barrie, thank you God. Yeah. So the town of Barrie, the town of thank you, kind of in Ontario.
Yeah.
Oh, Barrie.
north of Toronto, grew by 13.7%, pushing its population past 252,000 residents.
Wow.
What was once a weekend getaway destination is now a full-blown urban pressure cooker. The engine behind Barrie's boom is almost embarrassingly simple. It's Toronto overflow, pure and undiluted. Families who got completely priced out of the Greater Toronto area looked north up Highway 400, and there was Barrie, a genuine lakeside city where they could maybe, just maybe, still afford an actual detached home with a backyard. For a lot of people, that dream was worth chasing at almost any cost. But any cost turned out to be steeper than expected, and this is where the spiral kicks in. And you can watch it happen in real time every single weekday morning. Highway 400 southbound transforms into a crawling, bumper-to-bumper parking lot as
Bumper to
thousands
bumper.
upon thousands of Barrie residents make the long, grinding commute back down to Toronto for work. Because here's the catch. Barrie grew explosively as a place to live, but the good-paying jobs largely stayed in the city. That mismatch strains everything. The highways, the local transit, daycare wait lists, you name it. So let me ask you this directly. Would you trade a 2-hour daily commute for a backyard and a lake view? It sounds like an easy no, but that's the exact bargain that tens of thousands of families have already made, and their collective choice is quietly reshaping the entire region north of Toronto. Here's the practical insight to hold on to. When you evaluate any fast-growing bedroom community, don't just look at home prices. Look at where the jobs are. A cheap house can get very expensive, very fast, when it comes bundled with hours of daily driving. But our next town isn't struggling with too many residents. It's struggling with something far stranger, and honestly, far more unfair to the people who live there. Number 6. the Blue Mountains, Ontario.
Blue
This
Mountain.
next one is different, and honestly, a little unsettling.
First there was like, if you know about these towns, I've never heard of I've never heard of most of these towns, right? I've heard of
Yes.
Fredericton, and
I think I've heard of Barrie.
I've never heard of Barrie. I've heard of Barrie.
Sure.
I've never heard of it. Where did you hear about it and I wasn't there? You have been secretly watching videos without me.
No. I mean, I always watch all my videos when you are there.
You have to wait. We have to finish this video and talk after. We'll hold a meeting after this.
No problem.
Let me see your watch history on your phone.
The Blue Mountains, Ontario, a stunning ski and beach town perched on the shores of Georgian Bay, grew by roughly 60% over the
Look at someone's house.
Hey, house like paradise.
And it's made from wood, eh?
Looking this good.
Clean. Oh, some of you Canadians, you're literally living in heaven.
past decade. But the numbers alone don't tell the real story here. Because in the Blue Mountains, it's not just how many people are moving in, it's who they are, and whether they actually live there at all. Here's the shocking detail. This town has over 1,000 active short-term rental listings, think Airbnb-style vacation properties, packed into a community with a relatively tiny permanent population. So while the houses themselves fill up with weekend tourists and seasonal visitors, the actual community quietly hollows out from the inside. The lights are on, but nobody who belongs to the town is home. And this creates a spiral that is frankly brutal and deeply unfair. The very people who keep this town running, the restaurant servers, the ski instructors, the retail staff, the nurses, the young workers who make the whole tourism machine function, increasingly can't find anywhere to live. Why? Because home after home has been snapped up and converted into a high-earning vacation rental. Regular long-term housing simply vanishes. The situation got so severe that the town had to create its own attainable housing corporation just to keep essential workers from being pushed out entirely. Think about how backwards that is. A town so desirable, so successful, so popular, that the people who actually make it work can't afford to stay in it. Here's the insight most people completely miss about rapid growth. We assume growth always means more neighbors, more families, more community. But sometimes it means more investors, more properties bought not to live in, but to profit from. And that kind of growth can be even more destabilizing than a normal population boom, because it drains the life out of a place while inflating the price of everything. Now let's cross the entire country, because our next
I
town...
think it's saying total complete sense.
He's speaking absolute fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine a town growing by population, by neighbors, and then the investment power is not growing.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
And then there's also...
At the end of the day, prices will just increase for everything. So
yeah, but what is saying, for me, what I'm understanding, that if you like, it's growing and you have neighbors, you have people, you see, it's good. But now when you have like, so just people that come into the town, buy houses and live, you see those houses will be sitting there empty. Maybe they will come in and build more houses just because they want to sell those houses. So you see now the prices of houses will increase. You see, so they just bought the houses to keep them. Literally, there are no people that are staying there. So you can look at if it's a big city with many houses, but there are not many people in the city. You understand it from the perspective now. Yeah. So investment growth is a place will seem as if it's growing, but it's just a few people that own the place.
Yes.
But when you have like neighbors, you people can talk, you can understand each other.
So what I was instead getting was like,
Yeah.
he was trying to say that whenever a city is growing, they should also be, as the population is growing,
There should be investment.
they should also learn to like invest.
Yeah.
There's open companies somewhere so that it can be able to accommodate the people. Like they can have what to work and then it's such that prices should not increase for everything.
Yeah. You know that mostly what I understand from these Canadian videos that you have a small town. Mostly what runs that small town is small businesses. You can have a small grocery store. You have like a small bakery that is owned by a family. You have restaurants that are owned by a family. That's how they grow. They understand each other.
Yeah.
But when you have like a big corporation that comes in and just build everything, maybe you have like estates where a single person would own like 100 buildings, they can unilaterally increase rent. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah, but when you have people who grow up and make their small businesses, and then they invest by themselves into the city, it makes sense. Yeah. I think your understanding was good.
Yeah.
Town said yes to building faster than almost anywhere in Canada. Number 5, Langford, British Columbia.
Langford.
Now we head all the way west to Vancouver Island, just outside the provincial capital of Victoria, where a small community became a legend for how fast it chose to grow. Langford, British Columbia was, for a time, the fastest growing city in all of BC, with its population surging over 30% in just 5 years. If you visited Langford a decade ago and came back today, you might not even recognize it. Langford earned its reputation by doing something bold and controversial. While neighboring communities were busy saying no to development, dragging their feet and blocking new housing, Langford threw open the doors and said yes. Yes to towers, yes to subdivisions, yes to building and building and building some more.
I have a question though. It's not even related to this video. How are your administrative units divided in Canada? That is to say, in our country, we have the country, then we have provinces, which are now called regions, and we have 10 of them. In each region, you have divisions, and in each division, you have subdivisions. Yeah. And then in a subdivision, now you have maybe tribes, you have
clans.
You have clans and villages.
Yes.
Yeah. And then in the villages, you now have neighborhoods. So the president runs the country, the governor runs the region, which used to be called provinces. And then the divisional officer runs the division, the subdivisional officer runs
the village.
The subdivision. The divisional officer runs the division, subdivisional officer runs the subdivision.
Yes.
And then now you have like paramount chiefs.
Yes, those chiefs.
Yeah. You have third degree.
People like kings.
That run the villages. And then you also have councils that are run by
communities.
Mayors. You have mayors that run councils. So that's how our government administrative units are divided. I would really like to know how about Canada, because for us, the governor is appointed by the president, the divisional officer are appointed by the president, subdivisional officer are appointed by the president, and then mayors are voted, and then the chiefs, obviously, by inheritance. Yeah, that's how it works. But in Canada, I think they vote their governors.
They should.
Yeah.
Became the go-to example, all across Canada, of a town willing to grow at full speed. But building fast comes with a spiral all its own. Residents have talked openly about the growing pains, half-finished projects, giant construction pits sitting in the downtown core, and a constant, frantic scramble to get the roads, sewers, schools, and services built to actually match all those shiny new condos and homes. And that's the trap so many boomtowns fall into. Growth on paper is easy, growth that actually functions, where the infrastructure keeps pace with the population, is incredibly hard. Because here's the thing nobody tells you. A tower can go up in 18 months. But the sewer capacity, the school seats, the emergency response times, the traffic flow needed to support the people inside that tower, those take years to catch up, if they ever do. So here's your practical takeaway, and it's a valuable one. Whenever a town proudly brags about how much it's building, look one layer deeper. Ask yourself, is the infrastructure keeping pace, or is it only the housing? That hidden gap between the buildings and the systems that serve them is exactly where quality of life quietly erodes. But our next town flipped the entire narrative. It was the place that nobody thought could ever get expensive, until suddenly it did. Number 4, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Onto the wide-open prairies now, to a city that spent years being underestimated, and is finally getting the last laugh. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan grew by 15.3%, climbing from about 328,000 residents.
I think Saskatoon is the largest city in the province of Saskatchewan.
Really?
Yes.
How about Regina?
It's the capital city.
That's the capital?
Yes.
But it's not the biggest city?
Nope.
I see this girl has been learning quite more than I have.
Sorry. It's not my fault.
I'll start learning my stuff now.
You better do. Like, do.
Do.
To over 378,000.
Wow.
For a place a lot of Canadians barely think about, that's a serious, sustained, undeniable boom.
And you better not be teaching me the wrong information.
Of course I'm not.
Okay. Better. I'm waiting for the comment section.
After this.
I'm waiting at the comment section.
No, do your research after this.
I'm waiting at the comment section. Google can still lie.
Yeah, I'm very certain about what I just said.
I love the confidence.
You got to love it.
It comes with competence.
You got to love everything, including
For the
longest, even if it's lies.
This time, people wrote off Saskatchewan entirely. Too cold, too flat, too far from everything. But that dismissiveness blinded them to what Saskatoon quietly offers. And it's something increasingly rare in this country. This is a real, functioning city, a respected university, major hospitals, a genuinely diverse job market spanning mining, agriculture, technology, and the trades. And it delivers all of that at a price point that makes Toronto and Vancouver look almost cartoonishly expensive by comparison. Word eventually got out. Canadians hunting for opportunity without financial ruin started arriving, from other provinces, from overseas, from the pricey coasts. And that's where the spiral begins, though it's a quieter, sneakier version than what we've seen elsewhere. Saskatoon always prided itself on two things above all: easy affordability and no real traffic. Now, for the first time in a generation, that's changing. Bidding wars are appearing. Rents are climbing. Commutes are lengthening. The exact qualities that made Saskatoon feel like a hidden gem are slowly coming under pressure. And that's the cruel irony that runs through this entire video. The more people discover a great, affordable place, the less great and affordable it gradually becomes. Popularity is a kind of slow poison for the things that made a town worth moving to. So here's some genuinely useful advice. If affordability is your top priority in Canada right now, the prairie cities like Saskatoon still represent your best value, full stop. But the data is crystal clear. Even they are heating up. The window isn't closed, but it's no longer wide open either. It's narrowing, month by month. Now brace yourself, because our top 3 towns aren't just growing fast. They're growing so fast the locals themselves are starting to sound the alarm. Number 3, Kitchener-Cambridge-Waterloo.
And thank you if you're watching with us till this point. We just want to say that you should please support us in our GoFundMe page so that we can be able to visit Canada and see these things for ourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you, family.
Thank you in advance. And even if you are not able to contribute, it's fine. There's also another way that you can contribute. Watch the video.
Yeah.
Watch the ads on the video. It increases how much YouTube can pay us. Yeah, it also helps you to recommend it to more people. Also, you can also share the buy me coffee. You can share buy me a coffee page that you can share the link with friends. You can share it on other posts online,
members, with colleagues,
maybe on TikTok, wherever. We don't know. People have been trying that, and thank you so much for everybody.
We really appreciate.
We are grateful.
It's so nice to see how much people help us. They share our links to other
on other platforms. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are grateful Canadians. Let's get the name of the third city.
Third city loading.
Brace yourself, because our top 3 towns aren't just growing fast. They're growing so fast the locals themselves are starting to sound the alarm. Number 3, Kitchener-Cambridge-Waterloo, Ontario.
What?
Welcome to Canada's tech engine, a region humming with startups, students, and staggering growth. The Kitchener-Cambridge-Waterloo region in Ontario grew by 16.5%. blasting past 700,000 people and claiming the title of the fastest-growing major urban area in all of Ontario. This isn't a quiet little town anymore. It's a powerhouse, and it's expanding at a pace that's testing every limit. They call this region Silicon Valley of the North, and it's earned the nickname. Anchored by the world-renowned University of Waterloo and a deep, thriving ecosystem of tech companies and startups, It acts like a magnet for ambitious talent. Brilliant graduates, software engineers, and entrepreneurs pour in year after year. And right alongside them come families who want access to all that opportunity and to the Greater Toronto Area just down the highway without paying full Toronto prices. But when that much talent and that many families arrive at once, the spiral is unavoidable. A region that was originally built around universities and a comfortable, mid-sized town lifestyle is now wrestling with full-blown big city problems. Housing costs have soared, transit is packed, and there's fierce, relentless competition for every single available bedroom. Because the massive student population is now going head-to-head with newcomers and growing families for the same limited pool of homes. Everybody's fighting for the same doors. And here's the part that hits home for so many families across the country. If you've got a son or daughter heading off to university in a booming region like this one, you need to understand something clearly. Student housing here has become a genuine crisis. The days of casually finding a place near campus in the summer are gone. So here's your practical, do-it-now takeaway. If you or your kids are studying in a fast-growing city, line up that housing early, as in months ahead of everyone else. Don't wait. This is the on-the-ground reality of chasing an education in a boomtown. But our number 2 spot isn't one town, it's 2 giants. And the people who live there are officially saying, enough. Number 2.
By the way, what he's saying is a fact, right?
Yeah.
Here, to get a house beside the university campus
It's connection.
is practically impossible, especially right now that it's almost September and October. You will find it almost impossible. The best thing to do is to get a house when the universities are ending, when people are moving out, when students are leaving the university areas.
Yeah.
You can organize with other students and then you take over their rooms. Yeah. But if you have to go and look for it from a friend,
Yourself.
good luck. It's easier building a new house than finding it.
Oh my God, what are you saying?
I don't know exactly what I'm saying. And it's going to be expensive, of course, because they need you to pay like a full year's rent up front. And especially for families that don't have, it's very hard. So it's a relatable topic. Let's get to number 2, family. Oh.
Enough. Number 2, Edmonton and Calgary, Alberta. For our number 2 spot, I'm pairing up Alberta's 2 giants.
But those are big cities, man.
I feel like they're a really big city, especially Calgary.
Calgary is a big city, and Edmonton.
Together, they represent the single biggest growth story in the entire country. Calgary grew by 19.2%, adding nearly 300,000 people. Edmonton grew by 14.9%, adding almost 220,000. Combine those numbers, and you're looking at 500,000.
That means that you can reverse calculate the population of those cities, right?
Yeah.
If 14% of Edmonton is equals to 200 and something thousand, and 19 point something percent of Alberta is equals to 300 and something thousand, you can actually know the population of Alberta currently and in the past, which is interesting because 19% at 300,000 shows they have a significant population.
Yeah, very significant.
Adding almost 220,000. Combine those numbers, and you're looking at 500,000 people flooding into 2 cities in just 4 short years. That's not a trend. That's a tidal wave.
That is not that was a tidal wave for you Canadians, okay? In 2019, 2020, when I got here in our capital city, it was about 2 million people. Okay. Now it's 5.2 million people in my capital city.
That's an addition of
more than
like
3 million people. I can tell you that. 3 million. So I see the 500,000 is a tidal wave. It's not. It's a tsunami for us here. It does a tidal wave for y'all. Then we have the equivalent of what happened in the Bay of Fundy. Yeah. But most of it is happening because of the crisis in the south, northwest, and southwest regions of the country, and also drought in the far north of the country. So many people from the north, because the northern regions are the most populated, so they're moving to Yaoundé and Douala and the northwest and southwest are moving to Yaoundé and Douala. So there's a lot of convergence in here. Plus schools, people are coming for schools here.
A trend. That's a tidal wave. The magnet pulling everyone in is about as obvious as it gets. Jobs, high wages, no provincial sales tax, and, until very recently, housing that was genuinely, refreshingly attainable. As the rest of Canada buckled under crushing living costs, Albertans had it comparatively good. So Canadians from coast to coast did the math, packed up the moving trucks, and headed west in droves, chasing the promise of a better financial life on the prairies. But here's a spiral you can actually measure, not just in housing prices, but in the mood of the people themselves. In public opinion polling, a striking majority of both Calgary and Edmonton residents said their cities are now growing too fast. In Calgary specifically, roughly 2/3 of residents said the pace was simply too much to handle. Think about how telling that is. When the
Then and maybe they are not ready for the pace at which we are growing here. When I got here to Yaoundé, right?
Yeah.
The taxi fare, like the normal taxi fare, was 250 francs. Now it's 350. That is more than 40% increase in taxi fare.
This is really bad.
It's crazy. And then, like so many groceries, they used to sell vegetable oil at 800 francs. It went to 1,600. That is 100% increase. There was a point when you did not even see it. We have petrol. They used to sell it at 600. Now it's at 1,000.
That's like 40% increase.
That's 80% increase. 400 on 600 is 80. Yeah.
My idea.
So it's crazy.
I feel like 600 to 400% increase.
Yeah, because if you increase by 400, you take 400 divided by 600 times 100. That's 1,000 minus 600 divided by 600. Yeah, we're doing a bit of mathematics, guys. She used to be a science student. She used to know math a lot. Now she went into medicals. She's read a lot of molecules and doesn't remember a lot of maths anymore.
You don't remember?
I was a terrible chemistry student. So I don't know more.
So you went to engineer and started calculating math and physics.
Yeah, all my life I love calculation. When it comes to chemicals, biological molecules, nah, thank you. Though I never failed those subjects though. But I always want to deal with numbers because I have a smaller brain.
See who is having a smaller brain?
Yeah, because I can't keep records of long molecules. Like,
say no more.
I can't keep records of long molecules.
You can't even argue this one.
I can. Honestly,
No, you can't. You can.
You know I'm a lazy
It's not about keeping them. It's about knowing.
Yeah, it's about knowing them, right?
What is happening there, such that you don't have to like keep them, but you have to reproduce them when it comes to understanding it.
That's the problem.
And that's what you're good at.
You're talking like that. You know I'm the slowest reader in the world.
It doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
If you read fast and you don't understand what you're reading, what does it change?
Yeah. That's
So
true.
yeah.
Chemistry, biology, maths, physics. Yeah.
how telling that is. When the locals themselves, the people who chose to live there, who love their city, start waving the caution flag, you know the growth has officially outrun everyone's comfort zone. The roads, the schools, the hospitals, the housing, it's all straining under the weight. So here's the key takeaway. Alberta remains, without question, Canada's great opportunity frontier, the place people go to build a better financial future. But affordable Alberta is a reputation with a shelf life. And that shelf life is shrinking with every single moving truck that rolls across the provincial border. What's a bargain today may not be one tomorrow. And yet, as massive as these two cities are, neither one grew as explosively fast as the two tiny towns sitting at number one. These places didn't just grow, they practically doubled. Number one, West St. Paul and East Gwillimbury. And now, the two towns that started this whole video, because they're not just growing fast, they're growing at a pace that borders on unbelievable. First, West St. Paul, Manitoba, tucked just north of Winnipeg. Officially,
oh my God, they've city light, they've city electricity.
You're serious?
Yep. They've seen it.
Oh my God.
They've seized it. Okay, look at our faces. Let's go.
the single fastest growing municipality in all of Canada. Its population exploded by over 77% in under a decade, rocketing from around 5,300 people to nearly 9,500. Picture your entire town nearly doubling. That's West St. Paul.
I think how beautiful you look there.
Leave me alone. I'm so ugly.
Stop that.
I'm so ugly.
Never say that again. You better not repeat that.
And it happened astonishingly fast. Then, in Ontario, just north of Toronto, there's East Gwillimbury, which grew by more than 73%. At one point, it posted the fastest housing stock growth of any municipality in the country, with its housing supply jumping over 9% in a single year. Read that again. Nearly 1 in 10 homes in the entire town, brand new, in just 12 months. These aren't cities with deep resources and huge budgets. These are small towns that essentially doubled, and that's exactly why the spiral here becomes almost impossible to manage. When a town of a few thousand people suddenly has to build new schools, run fresh sewer and water lines across the region, hire more police and firefighters, and pave roads for twice its population, all funded by a tax base that's still desperately trying to catch up, something has to give. And the town planners themselves openly admitted the pace blew right past their own projections. Here's the single biggest insight to walk away with today. The fastest growth in Canada isn't happening in the big, famous cities you'd expect. It's happening in the small towns just outside them. The quiet, overlooked places nobody was watching. And that's precisely why they spiral so badly. Nobody plans for a flood until they're already underwater. So the real question is, which forgotten little town is next? Because somewhere out there, right now, the next West St. Paul is just getting started, and most people won't notice until it's far too late.
Thank you so much for watching, family.
Thank you, beautiful people.
We are super grateful.
And we're sorry for the disappointment of the current.
Yeah. See you in the next video. We love you.